Here we go. Bleh. Bleh. Ah. Blah, blah, blah.
Hey, what's up, you guys? Welcome to Power Talk, where we're gonna talk about some things. I am your uh, secondary host, or primer, maybe primer today. I don't know. My name's Casey, and this is my pal Tanner, and I don't know what we're gonna talk about today because Tanner's leaving it a mystery.
That was better than I thought it would be. We're actually going to use that.
Oh wow!
That was solid. You really caught me off guard. I like it.
Actually, it's something interesting. I was looking at some forum posts by the original creator of D&D, and he actually said that D&D is not a game that women would like, and him and one other person actually made some pretty sexist comments.
I take everything I said back, immediately cut it all out. Let's go back to the old days. Let's run her back. No women allowed in D&D.
Yeah. So. Yeah, but I don't know. Like you and I, we play with 4 women, right?
Yeah. I feel like that's just his opinion. You know how I think a lot of girls aren't like generally interested in like superhero movies or action packed movies. Like at least a lot of the ones I've met aren't. I think it's just a stereotype he's thrown out. I don't think he's saying women can't play it. I think he's just saying from his perspective, like a lot of women wouldn't be interested in it, which actually seems to be the complete opposite. I think a lot of women are interested in D&D because it's, man, the role play potential is so much fun, and you can have all these like, I don't know, you can just live out. Everyone has a fantasy. Everyone has something that they want to live out. Like, I don't see why it can't be for everyone. It's just a little more nerdy, which I guess women back in the day weren't as like openly nerdy, I guess. I'm not sure.
Yeah, like that's probably what seemed like was the general case, but that assumption is what perpetuated that for so long. Like women are scared to like come out and admit that, like, oh, like I have a lot of fun doing this, because they're worried about how they'll be perceived by like other women, by themselves, their family. It's like,
that's fair.
So yeah, like luckily we've come a long way. I think there's a lot of women that have no problem admitting that they're nerds.
Nerds in general, great. Right? They were shamed for a long time now. A lot of people are really proud to be like I remember in grade 9, I was so happy and proud to be like, man, all I do is play World of Warcraft. And you just hold the head high. Like I think it's becoming very normalized now. Everyone plays video games. Everyone does now. Especially at least the younger generation, right?
I'd actually hide a lot of that for a long time. So it seemed like I was a very like two-dimensional person because I didn't actually talk about what my interests were. Like my interests are like a lot of nerdy video game and comic book stuff. But like I never talked about that stuff because I'm like, who wants to hear about that? Like
it seemed unrelatable.
But it's like then it's like weird. Like as you get older, you realize like like everybody likes this stuff.
Yeah,
like it's a lot of people do like it. It's
like and a lot of the things are people won't try something because they think it's weird, or they heard it's weird, or they heard it's just creepy, I guess. But as soon as it becomes a social norm, oh, they're all on board. It doesn't matter, right? Like it's just that initial little hurdle to get over until you actually experience something and realize like, hey, this can actually be a lot of fun. Without like putting that prejudice ahead of time. I think that's definitely changed, and I think it's still changing, and I think it's going to continue to change as the next generations get older and older.
Yep.
Because everyone just seems to become either, I don't want to use the blanket term more tolerant, but everyone appears to be becoming more connected.
Yeah.
Right.
I think you and I are in a generation where it's like we're kind of in the intermediary part between
the transition.
We're in a transition period where like my dad was super racist, super homophobic, and it's like I remember like growing up, like there's so many like jokes that were around like somebody's sexual orientation,
so casually thrown out there too.
Their gender. It's just like that was just the norm, and
now it's like, completely unacceptable.
Yeah, and I'm okay with that. It's like I've been kind of it's just like I've always thought like how weird it is. Like why do we hold these beliefs? Why do we have so much hate in our hearts towards people for these reasons? It's like
A lot of it's just ignorance, though. A lot of it is ignorance. Like it's just not you willing to educate yourself on certain topics.
Yeah.
A lot of people just have. I mean, a lot of people are busy raising kids and stuff too, right? Like they don't have time to start reading all the philosophy books and reading up on all the culture and all the political and social economical aspects of the current world. They're just trying to make enough money for their kids to eat. So
Yeah.
I think
A lot
that's
of,
a lot of it.
a lot of misdirected feelings, like
Mhm.
a
And
lot
no
of
fact checking, no Google, right? They had no Google to fact check anything, which a lot of people still don't. They go off on these random ideas and just don't even look into it. But at the same
Mhm.
time, now you have the possibility to at least semi-educate yourself. So
Yeah.
I think that helps a
Yeah.
ton.
Thank goodness. My heart goes out to Gen Z and whoever follows them. I hope they get it right. You
Oh,
know.
they won't. Nobody will for a while, but hey, I think honestly, I think they'll do all right though. They I when I worked with like quite a few kids, um,
Mhm.
sort of like at a daycare, and a lot of the kids are very nice and very intelligent. There's so many things that they talk about that they know about that you would not expect a 5-year-old, an 8-year-old, a 4-year-old, a 3-year-old to talk about or know about.
Yeah.
They there's obviously aspects they don't know about, but at the same time, they are very intelligent about like just recycling and greenhouse gases and all solar power, solar reusable energy, renewable energy. They
Mhm.
are very informed on that kind of thing, and pollution in the ocean. My little cousin, I think at the time she was 8 or something, and she drew this eagle in like 5 minutes, and it was better than anything I could draw now. Like they are
Mhm.
there. I feel like this new generation is highly being promoted to, for better or worse, highly express themselves. Um,
Mhm.
and I feel like just giving people options of what they want to do or can do in the future is, I think it's a step in the right direction.
Yeah.
Is giving people just more options.
Yeah. I'm pretty hopeful. I know things look terrible right now. Like America, what are you doing? Uh
Uh,
it's yeah, there's a lot to be hopeful about, but there at the same time there's a lot that's like, man, there's so much work to be done. And yeah,
the scary
I
part
think
is too, at least in my mind, technology is not super advanced, but it's getting up there. It is very powerful stuff where one flick of a switch and like the world is over.
yeah,
Like it's true.
like we're pretty much there, yeah.
So, but you know,
Yeah.
that's why we have fun while it lasts.
Yeah. We'll just play games.
Play games, escape in some D&D, play some Ashes, play some World of Warcraft. You know, um, play some SWTOR. Dead game. Okay.
That game. I mean, it's kind of cool. I played it recently. It's like
Yeah.
it's okay. Like shout out to the people that still play it. God
Which
bless you.
I love the vibe it gives off. I love the feeling that the game gives. To give it that those props, like even though the game wasn't phenomenal and it couldn't really hook me, I love it just has a different feel than a lot of other MMOs, probably because it's a Star Wars feel. But I do
Mhm.
love the atmosphere of it. So
Well, BioWare made it. And they're like pretty good storytellers. So that
well,
was like the
well,
main
well, they used to be. I don't know
things.
anymore.
Yeah, they used to be. Dragon Age and Mass Effect were great, and it seems like they lost the passion.
I don't know, man. Games are getting really corrupted now. I think we need more indie studios, and I think we really need to promote the growth of smaller companies and smaller teams, and promote
Mhm.
just trying new things instead of just relying on your already established franchise. I really think we need to. That's why, like, props to Nintendo. They try a lot of really weird, wacky stuff, which I think we need more of right now.
Mhm.
Yeah, I want
Um,
to try to find more D&D things. It's kind of hard for me to find D&D topics that aren't pointless to talk about, I suppose, or already done in a better way than we could do.
yeah,
Right? It's kind of
but
hard to find something that's a little more unique, but I think as long as it's like an opinion piece or a hot topic going on right now, I think it's nice to get multiple point of views and perspectives from many people.
yeah,
So
for sure.
yeah, if you guys want any more D&D videos and you made it this far in the video, I commend you. let us know what you want to see. Let us know what you liked and disliked about the video. I'm very curious about critiques of what we're making. I really want to make it as good as we can.
Yeah, this is a interesting first D&D video because it's very social justice heavy.
It's a hot
It's like,
topic.
what are you doing? I don't know if people even want to watch it. It's just like,
I guess we'll see. Like, I don't know what else to make. I really want to talk about D&D, but I can't find anything that's interesting. And this was kind of interesting to me. I figured you would have like, you wouldn't mind giving your opinion on it. So yeah, I'd like to more know some more D&D things. We could even talk about one. I don't know what you think about it. I was thinking about some favorite homebrew items. I was gonna research some. Maybe you could research some, and we'll each bring like 3 of our favorite homebrew items that people have made or you've made or that you're working on into a video. I think that could be a lot of fun.
we should do a video where we make a homebrew item.
And like like kind of start off from ground one, and we'll be like, this is a sword or this or that, and like really break it down. That'd be fun. I think we could do that. A little crafty, designy video.
Try and make something that's not stupidly overpowered, but cool.
I always like the items that you need to be creative with. I really want something that can promote creativity, and where if you use it in the right way, it can be completely awesome, because the best items are the ones that catch your DM off guard. Those are the best like things to do in a game. The unexpectedness of it, where someone's like, I never thought of that, and then they have to like go on their toes to really like either just go along with it or try and think of a way it wouldn't work. I love that kind of conflict.
Yeah, I had that problem when I gave you Shatter Spike and you kept just smashing doors until they broke. It's like
you break through everything.
Either the weapon is really, really good, or I am adjudicating the rules improperly here. Like, could you actually attack the door until it breaks? Because there are rules where it's like, for certain objects that have damage thresholds, like if you can't do this amount of damage in a single hit, it doesn't do any damage. So I probably should have been doing that.
But at the same time, you just role play it where like, I just keep hitting it. I just keep going until it opens. Like, how do you stop that unless you make enemies just attack them? But at the same time, that can be kind of too cop-out-y to just...
Yeah. I was reading that it should be a skill check to smash open a door instead of an attack roll.
Yeah, maybe where you only get the one chance.
And since you're using like what is effectively an adamantium blade, it's like you should get advantage or something.
That's fair. And it already crits on damage. It does against objects like that. Yeah. You could kind of adjust the rules for doors are a little different than breaking a table. Where maybe with a table you could do the more straightforward rule of just like that's how much damage you do to it. But as far as like doors, it's more of just skill checks. I feel like that would be a little more fair to the DM.
Yeah. So, yeah, in the meantime, I took the sword away from you in favor of...
Well, I don't know if you took it away. I kind of gave it away and played the game. Played the system, dare I say.
You got a folding boat out of it.
Worth 10,000 gold, baby.
Yeah.
It's a pretty sweet deal when you're in the sewers. For you guys that don't know, in our campaign, we're currently in the sewers. We had to unclog it. And then my character, his name is Sir Kilgore Clean. He is now a Grand Templar, actually. Grand Templar Clean. He is, as is in his name, he is a very cleanly bloke. He is bald-headed, just like Mr. Clean. He is disgusted by sewer water. And so, what does he do? He gets a folding boat in the sewer. He doesn't have to touch any of that filth. And he can sleep in there. It's nice and clean. He can store his belongings. It's spotless, needless to say. It's great.
Unfortunately, he did have to get very filthy.
Ugh, that was disgusting. I had to swim through the sewer water and everything. It was... It was bad. He didn't have fun with that.
But while the sewer is draining, you get to sit in a boat.
I just realized maybe you should have gave me like -2 constitution or something for that, because it's so revolting to him as a character that like that's like his worst nightmare. That is like hardcore PTSD given his background of how he never wants to be filthy again.
Well, I gave you that buff for overcoming that flaw.
Yeah,
like just so you catch up to the party since you're behind.
Maybe you could make me roll like a constitution check here and there just so I don't have like side effects of like having to swim through the most disgusting sewer water that like he didn't even want to go in the sewer in the first place because of how disgusting it was.
It's funny that you should mention it because there will be a constitution roll for being
There
in
it is.
sewage water.
There it is.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm immune to disease actually as a paladin.
Or you can cure it really easily with lay on hands.
And poisoning, I can cure that really easily.
So, yeah, and we have a Warforged who's immune to disease. So, few people will make the roll just to see.
But that was one of my favorite sessions, and I didn't even have to do anything. It was all theater of the mind for like 75% of the game, and that was one of my favorite sessions. It was like a Scooby-Doo chase off camera or off. Yeah, it was great.
While everyone's fighting black oozes and sewage elementals, you're having a high-speed chase with
on my horse.
The city watch.
Yeah, I'm like trying to convince them not to go and shut the gate to my friends while they're in the sewers, and then it's like I'm trying to swindle them to believe like I'm the head construction guy and I'm managing this and it's all contracted out, and then they shut me down. They're trying to arrest me because I'm plagiarizing like city officials. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
A little goofy, but at the same time I thought it was the perfect mix of just like entertainment and conflict.
And you were rolling so well. I think you
rolled a couple natural. Yeah. The stealth checks on my heavy armor paladin were insane. Yeah. That was fun. And then my horse tried to jump into the sewer with me and he got stuck. Yeah. Mid jump, so it was a big gong show. It was a lot of fun though.
Yeah, it was fun.
I'm excited to play next. I believe that's Saturday actually, tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Ooh, I'm very excited. I really want to get more D&D involved, like some sort of campaign, but at the same time a lot of people film their campaigns and a lot of them are too long, and the issue with campaigns are unless we do like one-offs or where it's 1 or 2 parts, it's you can't just have 10 episodes and expect the people to go back to episode 1. It's not going to happen. It's too much of a commitment. So if we could maybe even record one-offs, I think that would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think it's like, I don't know if we're that interesting to watch.
That's the thing too. We're not even that good at like describing everything.
Yeah, like I'm not the best DM either
at all.
I'm not like yeah. I definitely have I need to take more notes. I need to read more fantasy fiction to see how do you actually describe what the heck is going on in a world with words.
I think you did a great I feel like the key to a lot of it honestly is just don't be afraid to use theater of the mind. Because the someone's own mind will describe something better than words ever could. As long as you can put them in a situation that is familiar, like sewers, everyone can picture the sewers and how disgusting and grimy they are. But if you walk into like an ice cavern that I've done before, it's kind of hard to really get the gravitas of what you're trying to display, or a large like castle. I've never been in a large castle, but if you can make it a little more relatable, then theater of the mind will go a long way.
I think it'd be cool if when you're setting the scene, if you have a few like landscape images to help you set the scene.
I've done that for my next one.
Yeah, so like you're in like a for example,
inspiration
like an ice
picks,
cavern.
right?
Yeah, and you can see like icy stalagmites, stalactites, and it's vast and open.
Stalagmites.
So because we did the thing where we had like just a big battle map for the entire dungeon. It's like, I kind of wish I left some of the dungeon crawling up to theater of the mind, and then when it came to the battles, like I just cut out whatever part I need out of the map or create my own.
I agree. I was thinking mini games for theater of the mind. Mini games I think could be so much fun, where you have a character in a tavern off screen playing cards with somebody, and then it's not even necessarily about the cards. It's like he's roll an insight check to see if he's lying to you about a bet you made, or see if he's cheating or something. I think you can do a lot of fun things off screen that really spice it up, that really add that like flavor.
Yep, there'll be opportunities for that in my game too. Like you kind of just have to ask for it. I there was one time where I tried to like hint like, yeah, like you can do this if you want, but we have quite a few shy players, so
I really appreciate how you slow the pacing of your games, how you slow down the in-between sessions, how you'll have like weeks off and months. I feel like in my story, the way it's written right now, it's very hard for me to do that, but I love the idea of it. But at the same time, I just don't think I'm being creative enough. I mean, you can literally do anything, right? So like I'm excited to do my continue my campaign, the revamped version, but I really want to try and incorporate long periods of time in there that make it feel as if you're a little more settled in the world.
Yeah, because it's like you can have like levels 1 to 20
Yeah.
if you like, right, like in game time it could happen in like a month, and it's like, does that make sense for a character to increase in power in that short amount of
And
time?
status within like a country or any kind of like area, yeah, territory.
Yeah. So I try to like between adventures, I try to give my players like weeks to months where they get to like exercise their newfound powers to
Well,
influence the world in different
so
ways.
the best thing that I think the influencing the world, that's like perfectly what I was gonna say, is like you can get like in my character Mr. Clean, he gets promoted in the Silver Flame in the church that he's a part of, and he can actually has the opportunity to exercise getting a better deal or search out items that you're looking for, little personal quests that you don't need to
Hmm.
carry a group along with, and personal goals. I think it's perfect for that to really flesh out the character in the depth of that.
Hmm.
And even to come
Yeah,
back with new items, new abilities, something different about them that helps them actually grow as a character, I think is perfect.
yeah. And then like you can set up stories where it's like, yeah, like you're a level 5 barbarian who's a bodyguard for these people, like, and his greatest opponent at the during this downtime is like a gang of goblins. Like, yeah, he's a level 5 barbarian. He's crushing them, and he's like making a name for himself
Yeah.
in the underworld because there's like rumors of him like taking on like entire legions of
Yeah.
goblins. Like, yeah, like I could play that out in initiative, but the outcome's probably the same. You can probably guess that a 5th level
Yeah.
barbarian's gonna crush.
Some things are better left to the theater of the mind.
Yeah.
For pacing
So
especially, right? Because there's a lot of like video game things that you could incorporate into D&D, but sometimes it's just it doesn't work out well with the pacing and initiative, because video games don't have an initiative role, which can really break up how things work in video games. So instead just leave it to an off-screen combat or an off-screen conflict, which I
yeah,
think can just improve it tenfold even.
yeah, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I'm trying to plan out right now. I think we've talked about it briefly. This is a little spoiler for anyone, but it's not fully fleshed out, so it's just the idea. But essentially, something where you're on. The whole team is on one platform that is moving. So my example was a rail cart where you're all inside this rail cart that is going downhill, and you pull out a timer and you're timing the group. Like, do you pull this lever to go left? Do you pull this lever to go right? You give a description of both sides, and then you let them time it out. And whatever side, and they don't pull it, they keep going straight. They do pull it, they go right. Right.
Hmm.
I really think a timed initiative, or not even an initiative, I guess that could work too. You could run an initiative for who makes the next decision.
Yeah.
But you time it out and you describe what's happening, and you put them all on this platform that moves you through. So there's a lot of player agent urgency that needs to be
Hmm.
taken, where like make the decision now. And it can really affect where if you fight people, if you don't, you give little hints as you go to like what's to come. I think that could be a lot of fun. I'm just trying to think of a way that it's more fleshed out than just a minecart, where it's a little more magical, a little more grand, a little more alluring, at least
Yeah.
to the theme of my game.
Yeah.
But I think that could be like just a ton of fun. Like the floor falls out below you, and you all fall into some magic bubble, and I don't know, right? Like,
Yeah.
I think there's something that could be cool there.
Yeah, it'd probably be like a multi-step skill challenge of some sort.
Yeah, so I was even thinking about incorporating combat into this. So you're on a
Mhm.
platform. Okay, so here I'll give you a little hint of what I had in mind. You're on the back of a dragon, man. And then enemies hop onto the back of the dragon. So as you're fighting them off, but you also have to steer this big dragon to avoid certain areas or to take them somewhere you want to go. So if it's flying through a canyon where there's cliffs everywhere, right? You have to try
Mhm.
to pull the reins or try to like get them to move in a certain way. While you're fighting off enemies, I think that could be a lot of fun, especially if you time it on like, say, you have one player's turn every round where they're timed to make that decision, or it's up to them really. I think that could be a lot of fun to force where you don't have time to plan it out. It just happens and you have to react. Because that's one thing that's hard with D&D is to add reactionary things that really make you like split second make a decision.
Well, I'm considering if I play with these same players in a second campaign,
Mm-hmm.
I almost want to put like 1 minute timers per turn,
Yes.
because
Yes.
like,
Because you have
like,
so much time to plan out your turn on other people's turns. You do.
yeah, like I'm okay if people take extra time to plan out their turn right now, because usually they're like, they don't totally know their characters and all the spells and all the mechanics of D&D yet, so it's
That's
like,
kind of the fun
yeah,
though of just like you say it, and even if it doesn't go well, like that's kind of the fun is if you mess up like on the spot, you make the wrong choice, right?
but yeah, like if a wizard has like 10 minutes in real life time to calculate the perfect fireball, it's like,
Yeah.
that's not
No, I
that's
agree.
so
I think timers may be a really nice thing because making mistakes is part of the fun, and it helps
yeah.
you. It really pushes the characters a little more. It helps them flesh out. It gives more memorable moments where like, oh, I can't believe you like did that when you should have done this right at the end of it. Like we have one character in another campaign that he's known for running away and just like sprinting at the first sight of ghosts or something that he can't see. Like it's great,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like that's the kind of thing you want. You don't always just want fight it, fight it, fight it. You want that kind of that emotional reflex in a
Mm-hmm.
character that's a little more memorable. Whereas like yeah, maybe you actually do your character somehow you make a bad skill check and he ends up getting a little scared when like a ghost first appears or he hears a creak in the house or something. I like the idea
Mm-hmm.
of it.
One thing that, this sucks because like my players are always able to like overcome almost every encounter I throw at them, but it would be great if there's ever a time where it's like, oh crap, we have to run, right?
But
Because I really,
how do you
I
know
want
that?
to,
How do you
I know.
properly assess that you cannot defeat these people?
Mhm.
I have
That
one
is
answer,
really,
but
that's really hard for players to figure out, but it's like, man, like I really want to play out like where the players like know that like they can't win and now it's time to run,
yeah,
because now you get to play out like in almost like theater of the mind style, like the escape.
I agree.
Like how are you getting away from this? So like it doesn't have to happen in initiative anymore. It's like, let's make some skill checks to see like,
Yeah.
can you get away?
It's
And
just
but it's like,
properly displaying that this person cannot be beat. He is too
mhm,
far powerful. Like how do you properly do that? Because players are either they think they can kill everybody and beat everybody, or it's just too overpowered where they're like I can't get out of it. I just die. I don't care. Like you don't want to
mhm,
kill that fire in them. You don't want to feel like they have no chance. They should
mhm.
still have a chance to have a win even if you don't defeat the enemy. They should be able to win in a certain aspect, like escaping.
Yeah, yeah, for
Um,
sure.
so I was thinking my answer to that would kind of be to almost have them encounter an enemy twice. So that have the first encounter show and display how powerful they are, but don't let them fight them necessarily. Just show off how powerful this character is. Where maybe they fought an enemy before that was really tough, and then this new enemy comes and kills an old enemy easily. So you can kind of get a power scale off of that, right? Say they
Yeah.
had a lot of trouble with an ogre, and then this new enemy comes and just one hits the ogre, then you're like,
Hmm.
okay, maybe we shouldn't mess with it. You know to run.
Yeah.
So the next time they do encounter it, they're like, no, like we got to get out of here, right? I feel like that might be a way to kind of um, display. It just takes a little more planning, but it may be a good way to display like a power level.
Yeah. Yeah, like I'm not a fan of like having too many NPCs that enter the party,
Mm-hmm.
because like I like but like it would be cool if there's like an NPC that's like super powerful and he just gets and like he displays his power by like just like one-shotting enemies that's taking the players like several rounds to defeat.
Yeah.
And then there's one encounter where like he just gets like wiped out by a single enemy.
And
It's
then
like,
you're
oh,
like, what
yeah,
just
that's like,
happened?
oh, this is a time we should
Yeah.
run.
Yeah.
So that'd be a good way to do it.
Yeah. Because
Another way,
if you make your
somebody,
players struggle at one aspect and then another character comes through and just clean sweeps it, no problem, then you're like, no, thank you.
yeah, another way somebody just described that you can get the result we're looking for is you have a character who is like really like overconfident and dumb, and like that when they suggest a course of action, it's the wrong one. So say that like you're confronting a dragon and
Mm-hmm.
this NPC is like, yeah, let's take it on.
Yeah.
It's like that should give the players like uh time to pause to think like, oh wait, maybe this isn't a good idea because this guy always has terrible ideas,
Oh, you build
right?
that reputation
Yeah,
with him.
so like he's the type of
That's
NPC to
smart.
like to charge down a hallway recklessly and he gets like smoked by traps, or like
Yeah.
he decides to negotiate with the gelatinous cube and he gets swallowed.
Yeah.
It's like, so when it comes down to like the final confrontation, he's telling you to like, hey, let's just smoke
We can
this
take
guy.
it. We can do it.
Hopefully by that point the players are thinking like, no, let's do the
Maybe
opposite of that.
we should stop listening to this guy.
Yeah, so I thought that was an interesting idea. I don't know if I'll ever get around to doing that, but
I like the idea of NPCs leading characters astray. I've always liked that, of where they kind of not. It doesn't even have to be deceitful, but it's almost like you throw your players into a situation that they do not understand, and you figure out how they react. So you throw them into this dungeon with no backstory, no nothing. They just somehow end up there. And then there's this strange character. So now it's actually up to them to discern, do we trust you? Who are you? Are you an enemy? What do we do? Right? Where you've thrown us into that before, where I believe I properly assessed it completely and my team completely ignored me, and then we almost got killed. The example was, at least in your campaign, there was this woman who looked very nice, but she was wearing very dirty clothes. So Sir Clean naturally thinks she is a filthy woman. Don't touch her. Let's murder her. Let's purify the world a bit. It's a little extreme, but he used divine sense.
Also used your divine sense.
Yeah, and it said that you got a terrible odor from her, and he tried to kill her, or he tried to strike her down because she was deemed as filthy, and you have to purify her, right? And then she like mind controlled me or something, and the team was like, no, she's just scared. She's just locked up here. It's not her fault or whatever. So we went along with what she was saying, and we almost got killed fighting a dragon for her. Yeah. And I'm like, this woman is filthy, but because my character is known for being an asshole and overcritical, they completely ignored him, which at the end of the day was kind of actually hilarious. But at the same time, in my like metagame mind at the time, I'm like, this is so clearly a trap. She is so clearly trying to use us to do her dirty work. And but because of Mr. Clean's reputation, just as like you were trying to say, an NPC having a reputation of being a complete idiot, they didn't go along with what I was trying to do. Because like, I just wanted to kill every filthy peasant. That was essentially it.
Yeah.
Which he's changed and grown, but
that's fun because, yeah, like, at least 2 people really wanted to kill the dragon, but 3 people were like, well, I'm not sure.
Let's talk. Yeah, and so we're like half battling it.
The dragon won.
Yeah. Man, Greed got a hold of Mr. Clean there. I'll be honest. There was a whole trove of treasure there that could have helped the silver flame out so much. And
that treasure's still there.
It's very subjective if the dragon was evil or not. My divine sense told me it wasn't. So Mr. Clean, in a moment of weakness, was willing to lie to the characters, to his teammates, and say that he smelt filthy. But then I really was hoping you would DM that to me so that they wouldn't know, so I could actually fool them, because they would have believed me. Because that is technically something only the paladin would have known. Is that right? So I wanted to lie about it, but that's not a very holy thing to do. It's but I feel like that's like he is a corruptible player. He's not like, he's very upholds his like anti-filth rule, but at the same time I've told you some behind the scene things of what's going on where he is changing. He is kind of like flexible in certain ways. He has a facade of sorts.
Yeah, very controversial figure, but somehow
he's horrible.
Kind of doing the right thing in some ways, in a backwards way.
He's kind of like means the best, just in a very like ass backwards way.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see where that goes. I might throw some more conflict, but yeah, I don't know. I guess it depends on the players. Like, I don't want players to get frustrated with you. Although I think it's fun, but we'll see. I
think they kind of get what kind of character he's supposed to be now, or who he is, where they just write him off. You're like, yep, he's just being Sir Clean again.
Yeah, that's the impression.
He's kind of like the dumb, lovable idiot in a sense. Where like he's always got your back, but at the same time you're like, okay. But yeah, I try not to push it, but at the same time I try to be faithful to the character, and he has very strong like views of the world. That's why he's in this. He's a Grand Templar of the Silver Flame.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, that's
be crazy to see what happens when his worldview is shattered.
Ooh, No,
I
thank
don't
you.
know. I don't know if I'm experienced enough to do that to you, but it'd be cool if I could set something up where I could really make your character doubt himself. But
He
that's
already
really hard to
is.
do.
You put him in the dream world, he thinks he still might be dreaming, and the only
Oh,
way out is to
yeah,
kill himself.
yeah, that
Because like
was
a complete like mind melt right there.
yeah.
For a little bit of context, he put us in the dream plane, I think it's called. Uh,
Transported to the
yep.
plane of dreams
And
to fight a core.
it drove Sir Clean crazy, where he ended up just jumping off the edge and trying to free himself from this dream by just killing himself. And now he's still, even after he's woken up, doesn't know that for sure. Very Inception-y.
Yeah, every player was like frustrated, but had fun with it.
Yeah,
It's
like what do we do?
Yeah.
Those are
I
kind of
need
the
to
best ones.
Yeah, those are pretty fun. I like even like I'm pretty inexperienced players, so when a ghost possessed one of them, they didn't know what to do, right?
Yeah.
Like nobody had a spell to remove the ghost, and they didn't want to attack their friend either. But it's
Yeah,
like that's
that's
kind of what you have to
the
do. You have to
only
knock them
way.
unconscious.
Unfortunately,
But
a
yeah,
lot of solutions in D&D is just kill. But
yeah,
that's generally the solution, unfortunately. But for new players, you still have that mystery and that wonder where you don't really know the answer. That's the best part.
I guess you missed the ghost fight, but
Yeah.
this one actually did end by diplomacy.
Oh.
They didn't kill the ghost.
But, well, they got him out of the person, I would imagine, or did...
They did that first, but then
Yeah.
one of the characters was like, hey, like, Mr. Ghost, what do you need? It's
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, okay.
I really actually appreciate that about our group, how they're much more willing to talk about things and immerse themselves in the actual world with real consequences. They don't make actions as if like they're non-consequential, which I really appreciate. Some other groups it doesn't matter, but
yeah, like one of my players, like she, like, her character has a family, right?
yeah, yeah.
And during the downtime, like, her character is like spending time with her family, and like the whole goal is to like come out of each adventure like alive.
And
like
like bring something back to
no,
help the kids or something.
yeah, there's no risk taking. It's like it's all about like there's in this to like protect their family.
Yeah.
It's like that's really cool. I like that. I think that's fun.
It's an interesting take for sure.
Yeah, because like most people when they like play their D&D character, I don't think they think about like what family does this character have. I know some do,
Or
and like
consequences of just adventuring in a world like this.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, like that's an opportunity for me to like add some like story to it. Like I'm not gonna murder their family, but it'd be fun to like add some like stakes to the game.
Mr.
Like,
Clean has some that too now. You have leverage over him. I just realized. Oh no. Oh no, don't do it to me. Don't do it to me.
Yeah, that's another thing about the downtime is like that gives time for people to develop their ties to the world.
Something they care about.
It's like,
oh, you're gonna don't do it to Mr. Clean. I don't want to say what it is because it's a secret. No one in the team knows about it. But like, don't hurt him like that. He's a good guy.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't do anything super crazy. I'm not gonna like just like kill your dog when you couldn't do anything about it. That'd be awful. But like,
well, even then, I can imagine you putting Sir Clean in a position where he's so vulnerable because of the choices he's doing and the secrets he has, where you can really leverage him to do some things. Because yeah, the more your character cares about something, the more they're willing to do to protect it.
Yep.
Oh no, because Sir Clean has some very dark secrets. Or they're very good secrets. They're very positive, but they are secrets nonetheless because he doesn't want other people to harm his secrets. He really wants to protect it.
I didn't know you felt that strongly about it, actually. So,
I don't care. Don't care. To murder everyone, clean the world, purge it from all filthy peasants. No,
but yeah, like that stuff that you added, like that's, you know, like at first I was like, oh wow, like you're just kind of being a troll, like ha ha ha, you're rounding up all the homeless people. But it's like that actually turned out to be like, oh, that's actually kind
of cool. A nice flip of what I did.
Character development, and it's actually you twist it into something that's potentially very good for the world. It's like, okay,
it keeps up that front, but and it like plays into the character, and then there's also that secret side that no one really knows about. the softer side.
Yeah, for sure.
Like he's murdering kittens in the streets, but then he's cuddling kittens in the sheets.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, take that however you want. Yeah, that was an enjoyable topic. I like talking about D&D.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I'd like to know if you guys want anything for us to talk about. I'd probably not talking to anybody. If you made it an hour into this video, what do you want? A cookie? Do you want? I'll get it for you. A shout out? A hand job?
That's
Cut that one out.
cut.
Yeah. So okay. So that's how you know I've been on here way too long.
Yeah.
It was nice talking to you, Casey. Weird that you wore the same clothes for all the videos. You just don't have a different change of shirt for all these different days we've been recording.
3 days straight, just same shirt.
Very strange. Yeah. Maybe somebody will get you one. But any finishing words? Anything you want to put out there? Take that as a no. Okay.
No, not really. Yeah.
If anyone watched this far, I'd greatly appreciate you. We're still going to be trying to pump out videos, and like I said, a lot of feedback is just going to help us grow and become a better channel and make better videos in general. So we're really pushing for that, and we hope just as we do more, it'll get better over time. Yeah, that was
I don't hear any
fun
feedback.
talking about.
I'm just going to assume that we're doing horribly. And
I was going to think we're doing great.
Yeah. I'm gonna keep it's fun.
We'll have the two polar opposites. Because we're thinking about our nicknames on the channel could be like Dad and the Kid. I think Casey's the dad, I'm the kid.
No, that's not it at all. In fact, I want you to cut that out.
Have that boomer and that zoomer kind of conflict. That back and forth.
Nope.
Okay, well, you guys think about it. Let me know what you think about those nicknames. Something along that. I think it's Dad's getting angry again. Watch out. Okay, I'm gonna cut it here. This is way too long. Bye bye. Live long and prosper. Live, laugh, love.
Bye.
Bye bye. Dab. How do I pause this or stop?
Macaroni and hot dog taco.
Okay.
Think about it.
Cool. I will.
Yeah.